Hey everyone and welcome back to Reading with an Otaku. I'm your host, J Rockfreak, and today we're diving into another book spotlight. You know how it is, sometimes you pick up a book, or in my case, listen to a preview and it just hits you instantly. Other times it takes a little more coaxing. But then there are those books where, even if they don't immediately grab you personally, you can just tell they're going to be someone else's next obsession. And that's exactly what we're talking about today. Today's spotlight is on a title that's been grabbing some attention, The Fireproof Girl by Loretta Lost. The title alone hints at something intense, right? And let me tell you, the premise certainly delivers on that promise. This isn't your light, fluffy read. It delves into some seriously dark and gritty themes, perfect for those who like their stories with a bit of an edge, a psychological twist, and plenty of mystery. So let's talk about what makes The Fireproof Girl so compelling, at least on paper. The story centers around Sophie, a character whose past is, to put it mildly, brutal. She was abandoned at birth, grew up neglected, and suffered through abuse. Her world was bleak, her only companions found in the cold, logical comfort of computers. But then a ray of something different entered her life, Cole Hunter. He wasn't just a friend, he became her everything. Think of it, a brother figure, a protector, and even a partner in crime. Seriously, you get the sense that their bond was an unbreakable, almost symbiotic force. She truly believed that nothing could ever tear them apart. And then, well, it did. Because almost nothing in life is truly fireproof, is it? Especially not human connections. Years later, the past comes roaring back with a vengeance when news of Cole's murder reaches Sophie. And this, my friends, is where Sophie truly snaps. The way the synopsis describes it, it's not just grief. It's a complete unraveling, a descent into a singular, all-consuming purpose, finding his killer. And Sophie isn't someone who just sits back and lets the police handle it. Oh no, she's ready to tear down heaven and earth if she has to. To aid her crusade, she even enlists the help of her ex-military ex-boyfriend. Because what else screams complicated and dangerous like an ex-military ex-boyfriend, right? As you can imagine, the deeper she digs into this investigation, the more she puts herself squarely in the line of fire. It's a classic setup for a high-stakes thriller, where every step forward could be her last. But the layers of this story don't stop there. We also get a glimpse into Cole's own profound trauma, which explains so much about his character and his connection to Sophie. When Cole was just 9 years old, he witnessed his entire family perish in a house fire. Imagine that kind of horror, that kind of loss. It's no wonder he became obsessed with architecture, with rebuilding, with creating something stable and enduring from the ashes. And Sophie. She became his secret weapon, his most precious asset. Protecting her wasn't just a desire, it was his purpose. It was the foundation upon which he rebuilt his own shattered life. There's this underlying, almost tragic tension, knowing that Sophie was damaged long before Cole even found her. And Cole, despite all his efforts, always harbored this deep, gnawing fear that he wouldn't be able to save her, not just from her external enemies, but more chillingly from herself. That's some heavy stuff, folks, and it points to a deep psychological undercurrent running through the entire narrative. Now, here's where I need to be completely honest with you all, because that's what we do here on Reading with an Otaku. I listened to a preview of The Fireproof Girl, and if I'm being completely transparent, it didn't quite capture my attention right off the bat. It was a short preview, of course, and sometimes books take a little longer to find their stride. I've definitely had experiences where a book really hooked me after the second or third page, or 5 minutes into an audiobook. But this one, for me, felt a little flat in those initial moments. The character introductions, particularly, felt a bit bland, and I wasn't immediately drawn into Sophie's world in the way I'd hoped. However, and this is a big however, despite my personal first impression, I can absolutely see why the premise itself is incredibly compelling. The core ideas, the dark past, the desperate search for justice, the unbreakable bonds forged in trauma, and the psychological depth of characters trying to rebuild from literal and metaphorical ashes, are all incredibly strong. It speaks to themes of loyalty, revenge, and the lasting impact of abuse. If you're someone who loves a dark mystery, a psychological thriller with high stakes, and characters battling not just external threats but their own inner demons, then The Fireproof Girl might be exactly what you're looking for. My initial reaction to the preview doesn't mean it won't be a phenomenal read for you. Sometimes, the full story truly unfolds in a way that the snippet just can't convey. It might be one of those slow burns that completely pays off later. So, what do you think? Does The Fireproof Girl sound like your kind of read? Have any of you already picked it up or listened to the full audiobook? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I'm always curious to hear what resonates with you all. If you enjoyed this book spotlight, please give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future deep dives into the world of books. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and as always, keep on reading, keep on listening, and stay awesome. Until next time, this is J Rockfreak, signing off from Reading with an Otaku.